So we covered the invasion of Poland. Uh, Lecture 12, Part 8. So I went back, found a map, kind of go back and readdress the Poland thing for a second since I didn't have a map handy. And since I accidentally clicked past one slide, so we'll backtrack for a minute. So I went and found a map because I was talking about Poland and didn't have a map. Normally on the PowerPoint, I just zip back to it, but I can't go back while I'm recording a narration. So I went and cut and pasted it. Here it is. All right, so let me get my pen here. Here is Poland. This is the Soviet Union, although it's not labeled on the map. Trust me, I know these things. That's the Soviet Union. Okay. Here, of course, is Great Britain. Here's France. Okay. So I told you, Poland is caught between Germany and the Soviets. And there's a flaw in this map. Okay, really. There's this little thing here that says Germany. Okay, so when they created Poland after World War I, they wanted the Polish to have access to the sea, to where they could do ocean trade. So see, it says Polish corridor here. So they basically cut a swath through Germany. This is all during the Treaty of Versailles type stuff, to give Poland access to the ocean. So there's this little clump of Germany here that's been separated from the rest of Germany. That's one of the things Hitler's not happy about. Okay? And then some of this land, had been carved out of what was Germany. So Germany has its eye on Poland. I've already talked about this in the last video. Okay, and then we get the non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union, and I told you that the Germans invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939. Okay, sorry, I stopped reading an email. So where was I? I was talking about Poland and Germany and the Polish corridor and the bad location. I told you that when Germany invades Poland on September 1st, 1939, thus triggering the Second World War as we know it, that France and Great Britain honored their commitments to help defend Poland. Now here's the problem. Poland is here. We've already looked at that. Okay, France is over here. Great Britain's over here on an island. Can they get aid to the Poles? Not really. Germany's in the way. Okay. So, they offered what aid they could, but really, the French military, the British military, the French military really can't directly come to the aid of Poland. All right. Now, probably what the French probably should have done in retrospect is when the Germans went into Poland, the French could have attacked across the French border into Germany, giving the Germans something to think about. Okay? But they didn't. They really weren't ready for anything like that. And of course, in World War I, the defense usually had the advantage, so they probably saw that as not a good idea. So, what happens is Poland falls rather quickly. Okay, I don't know, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, the country of Poland is gobbled up by the Germans relatively quickly. Okay? The Soviets move in from the east and gobble up their little piece of Poland as well. So Poland is wiped off the map. Okay? But then there's this lull, right? There really isn't any more fighting after that. So we go from what we call the Blitzkrieg into what some people jokingly call the Sitzkrieg, because everybody's kind of sitting around waiting to see what will happen next. Okay, so I'm not saying there wasn't a little bit, probably people sniping across the border at each other. Certainly there's action at sea as the German submarines start trying to blockade Great Britain as they had done in World War I. So there's a state of war going on, and I'm sure there's a skirmish here or skirmish there. Like I said, the British Navy and the German Navy are at each other. But after the fall of Poland, there's kind of this pause where very little is happening. Okay? And then you're going into the winter when the days are short, it's cold, roads are muddy, and so there's kind of this pause, while everybody's kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. I've kind of backtracked a bit. I wanted to play with the map for you there. Let me erase all these little things. This is so cool. Oh, look, Munich conference. Should have erased. I missed that. Okay, we've already talked about that. I just went back to get the map. So this is all stuff we've already covered. And there's the picture of it accidentally fast-forwarded past on the last one of the German troops in Poland in their little tanks. But I told you the truth about the horseback thing. So when I actually left off, I was talking about Roosevelt's reaction to the war. I told you that he's going to try to start leading the American public to accepting the idea that Hitler is a threat. And one of his problems is the Neutrality Act of 1939. So now we're getting back into new stuff. Remember, the Neutrality Act says that we, the United States, are not supposed to sell military goods to countries at war. Okay? This is meant to keep us getting entangled in the kind of things that help lead us into World War I. Now the problem is, it treats everybody equal. Under these rules, we're not supposed to sell goods to any country at war. So even the aggressor country of Germany, duh, hello. But what about France and Great Britain? Roosevelt goes to Congress and says, look, this is not good. We're trying to prevent getting sucked into war, but remember, this is the Neutrality Act of 1937 we're talking about, by the way. It says, but what's happening is we're actually enabling, the aggressors, because we really want to give aid to Germany. I'm sorry, we don't want to give aid to Germany. We want to give aid to Great Britain and France and other countries being threatened by Germany. So Roosevelt convinces Congress to modify the Neutrality Act of 1937 in 1939, which would then allow us to sell military goods to the French and the British. What he's hoping to do is bolster the French and Great Britain military to where they can fight the Germans. Hopefully they can defeat the Germans and the United States won't have to get involved. But we can facilitate this by helping supply them with weapons. And so Congress modifies the Neutrality Act of 1937 in 1939, now allowing us to sell goods. And orders start flying in from Europe for weapons. Submachine guns, other things, ships probably. A big one, airplanes. The British and the French need airplanes. They have their own factories. They can build their own. But as the crisis after Munich, the French and the British had realized their air forces were inadequate. They had started ordering airplanes from the United States, but then the Neutrality Act would put a stop to delivery of these planes. So with the modification of the Neutrality Acts allow us to once again resume shipment to the Allied powers. Now, is this good for American industry? Because we're in a depression, right? And all of a sudden, money's flowing in from Great Britain and France, wanting to buy airplanes and other things. I'm just, airplanes are a big one because it's going to help finance the expansion of our industry to where we can deal with what's coming. And so this is going on in 1939. And like I said, you've got this Sitzkrieg thing here where nothing else is going on for a little while. And then, in spring of 1940, after the winter thaw, the winter weather clears and the days start getting longer again, the Germans go back on the march and go back on the offensive. And I think I need a map again. So let me pause and I'll go get one.